I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank.
A talent is someone who has a natural ability to be good at something, especially without being taught. Sport is a human activity involving physical exertion and skill as a primary focus, with elements of competition or social participation to spectators, where rules and patterns governing the sport are observed. It is a system of activities involving physical dexterity or athleticism. Kenya is a country renowned for her inexhaustible resources, including sports talent. My question is, are sports talents born or they are made? Are they naturally born, or someone physically trains herself or himself to become a sports person? We delve into the behind-the-scenes nitty-gritties of talent identification, development, and nurturing. We'll look at the building blocks of the long and arduous journey that these talented people go through before that podium finish. We will engage the talents, the coaches, the referees, and umpires, sports association officials, federation officials, doctors, physiotherapists, nutritionists. Before those sports headlines are made, something has to be put in. We will look at what it takes to make the headlines, who are involved, what really goes on, who are these guys behind the scenes, behind the headlines. Join me as we explore the stories behind the stories that make the headlines. Let's take a walk together. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are blessed to have a talented young lady who is really into sports. She is in talent development, identification, and nurturing. She will introduce herself. Karibu.
Asante sana. My name is Racheal Onyango. Professionally, I'm a teacher at Kabete Vet Lab Secondary School. It's in Nairobi. And also, I add up as a coach to the football team.
You coach soccer?
Yeah, the girls team. And I'm also a sports teacher, and I practice track judging. We have a program in our school whereby on Mondays and Fridays are dedicated to sports. So the kids have time to practice and even develop their talents. And mostly during weekends, we have competitions. The most recent one being the Team Wanyonyi tournament, where our girls were position 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How does it feel to be a coach of a winning team?
It's fulfilling. It's a happy moment, especially when you see the girls win. There are some matches that we've done where they have equally lost. And it was a sad moment because most of them, when they lose, they even cry. And you do not know how to go about it. You cannot console them because you are too emotional.
You're also heartbroken.
Yeah.
All right. We'll come to that later. Did you train as an umpire, a track judge?
Yeah.
Take us through that, please.
I haven't begun it long ago. I think it was in 2019. Yeah, I did the first track judging.
Yes.
And then when COVID came now, there were no opportunities for athletics and whatnot. And so this is my second time actually to practice it.
That's good. Now, which are some of your toughest or high-stake games that you've officiated before? The highest level.
I think I'd say the nationals, because every athlete that has been brought forth is talented.
Right.
And so coming up with a winner, sometimes you have to be very, very careful. Something that makes one stand out is very little. All of them are good. So you have to be very articulate when you're looking at the winners.
Now, in terms of maybe photo finishes, in athletics, I know there's photo finish.
Yeah.
I did not see any cameras installed there. How
They
do you
were
mind?
there.
Oh, there were
There
cameras.
There was one representative from Northeastern
Right.
who had a camera, and at some point there are some 2 track judges who had a challenge because they had given position 7 to 2 candidates, and we had to go back to the camera and view the video,
Right. Ah,
and it really helped.
Any notable players who have gone through your hands?
For now, I think I can talk about my students.
Yeah.
There's one who was participating in the 200 meters,
Right.
and she qualified. Yeah.
She's going to the next level.
Yeah.
For the East Africa Games.
Yes.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
How do you train these students of yours? Briefly take us through your typical training schedule for you to come up with a winner. You know, it's not easy. There are over 8,000 high schools in this country.
Yeah.
And for you to produce a student to this to the highest level, that is something worth noting.
I'm very grateful for our school administration.
Right.
The head of department games is someone who is very committed, and also the principal. Not forgetting
What's the name of your principal? We need to
Mr.
shout out.
Mwala, Evan Sowala. He's really
Good job,
been
Mr. Principal.
supportive, and even the regional offices, because before the students came here for the competitions,
Right.
they had a boot camp where they practiced, and they had experienced coaches like Mr. Otieno. He's had a big team before. He's taken students to greater levels like Helen Obiri.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so they were there on the ground with the students. They were training them apart from the training that they got in school.
All right.
Yeah.
Great. I know coaching and officiating and all that, there are lots of challenges that people encounter on a daily basis. So can you please tell us give us a brief of any challenges that you've encountered when handling your team or in a game situation, in a competition? Any challenges?
In a competition where sometimes you have to watch your student, the one you've been coaching or training, when she makes a mistake, sometimes leading to a disqualification, that is a sad moment that you feel should have done better with everything that you have given them, the resources, the time, the energy. Yeah, and I think that is one of the biggest challenges that we normally face because it crushes you.
Wow.
Yes, it happened to us before we even got here.
You're talking about this year?
Yeah, this year. One of our students had managed to be position 2.
Right.
But when she finished, she went and sat aside. She didn't go and register her name. The details were not taken in time. And so that position was given to someone else. And we had to appeal because the person who had been given was a student of the referee. And so our student was very resilient. He was like, "Cha, I am supposed to be there. I was position 2. And you know, now we had to approach it in a sober way. We went and approached the officials and told them this lady ran and she was position 2, but because she was tired and she was panting, decided to sit down there. And
Was it resolved amicably?
Yes, the
good.
student managed to come here for the nationals.
That's great. Good. Have you ever handled a game that threatened to degenerate, due to, things that are not within your control, like indiscipline or any other thing, something that threatened the game to go into lawlessness?
I have not encountered such. Yeah.
All right. Good. What is your opinion about on the standards of games in general, these talents that you're seeing around here? Do you feel that Kenya has the best? Do you believe the association has got their very best to this platform? Or there's somewhere that, in your opinion, are not yet identified?
I would say with the students or with the students, basically with the students. You're talking about the talents. Do you feel we have the very best here? We've mopped up the entire ground level up to this level? I think the competitions were fair.
Right.
Even on short notice because the circular came in very late and most students or most schools were not really ready. There are some who were a bit hesitant. They thought maybe that circular was fake because people were anticipating for games to resume. And so each time we'd have rumors of teachers saying, games is imerudi. And because now people are not so sure, and sometimes some schools did not have the opportunity to participate. So maybe moving forward, the ministry maybe could give the information prior,
Right.
and I know that is going to happen, so that the students can plan and also the administration can plan on the finances, so that each team participates. But for the teams that have been brought here, they are the very best, and I know they're going to take Kenya to the next level.
That is being positive, which is very good. And by the way, you've talked about the resumption of games. How did COVID affect your training in general?
I think with COVID, we lost many students. I mean, with high school, most schools, we do not allow Form 4s to participate because we normally give them time to reflect on their studies. That is the time that we want them to concentrate. And so for a student who was in Form 2, then COVID happened, and there were no games. They are in Form 4 right now.
Wow.
So they have not taken part in any of the competitions.
So you're talking about at least 2 generations.
Yes. And even for those who are here, they were not practicing consistently because now everyone was a bit skeptical about how do we resume, and most students went low on it. Yeah.
All right. Now, how has officiating impacted on your life? Is officiating rewarding to you as an individual? What's been the impact of you as an official?
It is fulfilling, knowing that the results that you give are going to impact someone's life. Like for a student who manages to qualify, then they are going to meet people out there, they're going to interact, and some of them are going to be the next big thing in Kenya. And so knowing that the decision I've made is going to impact someone's life positively is fulfilling.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yes, there are many instances where we've acted as volunteers because maybe the ministry needs like 6 people and they are not enough, and so we come forth and volunteer, which is not paid, and we still feel good about it. Because just being there, participating and learning from one another, and even for the coaches who have been there before you, you learn a lot.
All right.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about mentorship. Growing up, whom did you look up to? Maybe in your field, and right now, are you mentoring anybody?
I'd say I have looked up to several people. We're in the sports fraternity. One is Mr. Otieno. He is the principal.
The full name? There are so many Otienos.
I am not sure about his first name, but he is the principal Elim. He has been able to coach students from very many schools. And I think he's one committed and dedicated person. And even in football, Mr. Okumu, he runs a talent academy together with Coach Orero, and they're doing a good job. And most of the students have managed to go to other countries to play for them, for the women.
I think about Mr. Okumu Morris.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. He's also the principal of the Great Mix.
Yes.
Those are the people that I look up to.
Good. And are you mentoring others? Are people coming to you, Madam? How do you go about ABCD?
Not yet, but in the future.
I know.
Yeah.
Whom do you ascribe your success to?
I'd say I'd really love to give a big shout out to Madam Celestine, the HOD of our school.
Full name?
Celestine Odiol. She's in charge of games. I think the first time she introduced me to games, I was like, are you sure about this? Do we need to do this really? Because it was the first meeting for the COVID resumption after resumption of sports. And so we just went, and that was it. Slowly I gained interest, and there are other teachers who we are working with in school to ensure that this happens. And for Madam Celestine, she's very fair. She's someone who is who will push you to be a better person. Yeah.
Thank you, Madam Celestine. If you're watching, you've done a good job. As you come to the end of this, what is your advice to anybody who is contemplating getting into officiating?
I'd say don't get into it because of the money. If you have the passion, do it. Because Even if you go for the money, the reward that comes thereafter when you see students excelling, when you see students doing big things and being better, is even more rewarding than any amount that you'd be given. There are some people who have been given this opportunity, like those people that have been before us, especially for me, like a young teacher, and you'd see someone does not do their roles properly. Like you have to look for them, they come late, and it's an opportunity that is golden. When you're given this chance, do it wholeheartedly. Don't look at the money. Yeah.
Good. Now, finally, what is your parting shot? Anything else that you'd like to say in conclusion as you wind up? Maybe what I didn't ask you and you really feel like you're shouting it out.
I'd like to appreciate KSSA. They're doing a good job in mentoring students. And we are hopeful that even after this corona period and everything, our students are going to be better and better. Yeah.
Good. Thank you so much, Madam. That's been quite insightful. I was glad to host you here. Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it all from her. If you need to be mentored, maybe you can contact her. And with that, we come to the end of this episode. Thank you. Until the next one. Thank you. Good job.
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up, it's time to